target them based on how difficult they are to get in.
Okay.
So usually this is the first choke point, depending on if they aggress it. Right? These are like
Okay.
your very standard, like when you come out, this is like probably the first place you may or may not take a fight, right?
Mhm.
The second choke would be basically once you're crossing towards the pillar. So anywhere from down here, right? Mid, I mean, these two choke points are extremely hard to get through. But
Right.
for A, this would be your first choke. And then crossing this line would be your second. And then of course you have this one too. But at the start of the map, you technically only have, so if you look at the map as a whole, right, you have this area to come in from,
Mhm.
belong. Consider, like, let's say mid was in existence, right?
Mhm.
You have belong, and then you have a lobby, basically, or whatever you call them, because I know teams call them differently, but you have these two areas, right?
Yeah.
You're basically forced to take unless you go through mid.
Right.
Depending on their comp, or at least a good team's comp, let's say they're running your comp, right? And they have
Mhm.
a KJ. If they have a turret that's just watching this mid line,
Mhm.
they're basically ruling out that you're never gonna come here. So they only stare down basically this
Long.
angle. Like they're
Right.
basically saying like if you're gonna push through here, right?
Right.
And then mid is not an option because of this KJ turret. That's why people usually default to break out this utility. Same thing with A. If they put an alarm bot, let's say, I don't know, what's a common place to put an alarm bot? Probably deep right
R.
here.
Yeah. Oh. Right. Yeah.
Say here. Say something like this, right?
Mhm.
Then they're also ruling out like, hey, they're unlikely to come here too. So they're probably gonna just push through A main, right?
Right.
So with this said, if the KJ player just sat right here and played off of this alarm bot, and we had another player just playing off of this alarm bot, or even playing here, the setup would probably end up looking like this, give or take. Unless you guys started doing something mid, or unless they started breaking things mid, then these guys probably wouldn't rotate, and this would probably be your ideal setup, right? You have your KJ watching basically all of mid, um, and then you have your team playing for these angles. And this is where that problem comes in, right? Like if you're
I
not
did
controlling
something
mid,
wrong. Uh huh.
like yeah, if you're not controlling mid and you're rushing down A every single time saying like, oh yeah, they have a one sentinel team comp, then eventually like
They're gonna
they're
read.
gonna realize
Yeah.
this and start stacking those, right? Because all
Mhm.
this Fade has to really do to get info is stare down this line.
Mhm.
And if she has this line just right here, then they know that like you're not taking B, right?
Mhm.
And the reason why people love Viper so much is, or I guess
That.
Astra kind of can sort of do the same thing, right? Like if you put a smoke here, the take back smoke, it's to cross and it's to
Mhm.
put pressure on this person holding the deep
Yeah,
line.
I
If you smoke
noticed that.
here,
Like I saw that like last night. Someone put Astra smoke like at the top of Belong, and I barely saw like a jet boot like cross behind that pillar.
yeah, because this once you do that, it basically applies like this huge like question mark right here, right?
Yeah, I was barely
Like
watching it, but I saw it. Like the map didn't
like
even
now they
catch
don't
it.
know.
Mhm.
So that's where you're cutting off info. So we'll watch the VOD and we'll see how it plays. But essentially, what should happen here is for defense, you guys should be holding these lines, like this long line for
Okay.
early info. Mid control is a must, so you should have some form of util towards mid to
Mhm.
like basically establish control here.
Mhm.
And A is just either early I or early something or even have jet product. Because once you get, if you ever manage to get jet up here,
Okay.
then you've basically won the game, right? Because this is a deep line. Having jet posted like even behind this box is a deep line. And like by deep line, I mean like if you saw someone, like if you saw like an enemy let's say here,
Mhm.
here, or here, like it takes them at least like a couple more seconds, like I'd say 3, 4, 5 seconds to make their way down towards site, right? To actually like take it. So that gives your team time to like rotate through mid or rotate through spawn or whatever, right? To set up for
Mhm.
the take.
Mhm.
As opposed to like we're all gonna sit back here and then when they take site, they're on site, right? Like the second like chamber makes contact with someone like A main, like from this angle,
Mhm.
these rotations are already gonna take too long and then you're forced into a retake, right? Same
Okay.
thing with B, like if you make contact like over here, it's already too late. Like you have to either go for the retake or just do a site smoke and like pray for the
Yeah.
best.
Okay. Yeah. Granted, the team we were up against was pretty bad, but like, cause so like, we just finalized kind of like who's on the roster. We have like one more person we're doing to be like the final person. Um,
Yeah.
so this is like with the sub, right? Cause VNS
Are you
is
guys a co-ed team, GC team?
no. Well, I guess now like our sub is my friend's girlfriend, so it's like two girls and let's see, there's 6 people, right? 2 girls, 4 guys. So I guess we're
The
co-ed.
co-ed.
Yeah, like oh, like I'm thinking about it now. Yeah, she's gonna be our sub just because she's had a lot of stress and like the mental isn't there. Like cause she's letting like a lot of like she's letting kind of like what I let happen to me when I first started playing get to her. So because I know what she's going through, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have you as a sub, but I still want you there. Like every time we're doing strats, every time we're like doing the dry runs, like I want you there.
Yep.
Because like I know how she's feeling. So I'm trying to get it, like, take it slow. But this team was bad. So for gangster, I'm using like a regular gangster that has like a lower rank.
Hmm.
Once we add the final person to the roster, I'm using the Prozone account gangster, so the scrims will be harder. But I just wanted to have everybody first, you know, before everything got harder. Um, yeah, before I swap everybody over. And then I also have a Prac account, but I haven't used it yet. I have everything
Practice
like,
good.
huh? Yeah, I have Prac.
Practice good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have Prac. I have the like, the Prozone account for Gangster. I have a lot of other stuff. I just don't use it, because it's like not
That's
ready
good.
to use it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah. And granted, this team was bad. I tried my best, and everyone was like, "You sound." They were like, "You sound so much more confident than you did on Bind." On Bind, I hid behind my friend who was already experienced as an IGL because I was like, "I don't like this map,"
Got
but
it.
it's just,
Okay.
it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why.
Let's see how this plays out then.
Hmm. Oh yeah, here they like really ran up mid.
Like, remember what I said about
Hmm.
the angle, right?
Yeah.
If one person is peeking this and if they have mid control, like they
Hmm.
basically ruled out the only site you can go to right now, right?
Right.
Which is A. So the people on B are probably shifting towards the rotations now, right? People
Hmm.
mid going to A, people
I
pushing mid probably coming up flank right now, right? They're
right.
basically containing you to this one area.
Right. So they like forced. So we were just like, okay, so now we just like have to just book it on A, and this is where we just ran it.
Astra's backside already.
I could not for the life of me remember what was this call out. We were just like, I got lost. I was a lost child here for sure.
This is good. So in this scenario,
Hmm.
you've lost control of this
And main, right?
and this,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah. I was kind of. I know here because I was listening to all the information they were feeding me, and I was a little bit lost between like, okay, do I need to help out main or art or towards art or
Right
like
here.
yeah.
Someone needs to make the call to push this, right? This is the last place that they could be, and if they're there, then you've lost the round. Like you need to just look for something here, right?
Okay.
So your gecko here is gonna die, like no doubt about it. Like
Mhm.
he's stuck, she's stuck. But what the team can do in this scenario is you clear out this main area, so at least you kind of like you flip the site essentially, right? Like you're on defense now, they're on attack, right? And you're playing your defensive positions, which is what your jet does is really good. And then your gecko, right? Like he's dead because art main. And then from
Yeah, I can see my indecision here too.
your crosshair is like
Everywhere.
it's not on like your danger angles.
this is my thinking. I can tell I'm thinking.
Yeah, so right here, like no one's gonna be here, so you don't need to put your crosshair there. You have your gecko holding it. No one's gonna be inside this box. So you're good there too. You
Yeah.
have to be worried about here, right?
Mhm.
So I know you're thinking about like swinging art right now, like just from your positioning,
Mhm.
but bare minimum you could do is keep your crosshair here in case someone shows up before you swing art, and then when you decide to swing art, tuck your body back a bit against this box so that they have to swing a bit further in to actually trade you, right?
Mhm.
Then this, like, Gecko dies, Jet's in a good position. 3v4. We're looking for a fight. You get one, get traded out. Nothing more from that round, really.
I need to practice more lineups for this map for sure.
Yeah.
Because I feel
Um,
like my eye should have been out sooner as we push down here.
mhm. Again with this one, right? They have all of mid.
Mhm.
If someone is so they hear all this noise B, right? So
Mhm.
if someone is just holding this A line, the deep line, or even the shallow line, like they know that this is gonna be a B hit, right? Because they
Right.
have all of mid. Where are smokes?
Oh, this is where I think that my right click is just, God's gift. If he didn't crouch, I guarantee you definitely would have gotten that KO, you know?
Okay, so
It
execution wise,
could have
okay,
been better.
interesting dart. We have no smokes for here. We have no smokes for here. Gecko gets shot. That's fine. Seize, swing.
Yeah.
These two players on your eco round, they need to be less scared and just come in, right?
Which ones?
So look at what's happening right now.
Me and Jet are
So your
going in.
gecko's worried about flank, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
In your eco round, you shouldn't be worried about flank because if you get flanked, you're gonna die anyways. And if your gecko is gonna take this fight, like the chances of him winning are still very slim to none, right?
Okay.
So at this point, it's better to just stick with the team, take the side as a 5v2 or whatever,
Mhm.
whoever is still on site, right? And then somehow you guys are just mowing them with classics.
We're all in this together, you know? Yeah, 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 I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. No. Yeah,
Whoa.
I'm fucked. Yeah.
So think of it this way, like this is first of all, this is your buy round, right? Is there a reason you're buying the
Yeah,
Spectre?
yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what happened here actually, econ wise.
Okay, so right now, from the looks of it, you can buy Vandal light armor, or you can buy Spectre full armor, or I think even Bulldog full armor.
I probably should have done the bulldog here then.
Yes, because like unless you're gonna be taking close range fights at A or like mid,
Mhm.
like your Spectre is gonna not benefit you at all, right?
As well. Just scan me and
He misses out. He misses him.
You till out running into a smoke, they're on their bonus round, you guys are on your full buy. The chances of them being in the smoke would have been extremely high. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So keep that in mind. Like smokes are not your friend, especially when you're on your eco or when you're on your full buy and they're on their eco round. Any sort of eco, like it's best to just wait out the smoke, right?
Right. Okay.
Because they're looking for something. They know you have vandals, right? And they're specters, they're stingers, they're well, I wouldn't say marshals, but they're shorties, judges, whatever, are
Mhm.
gonna be in the smoke or behind the smoke.
Okay. Hold on.
Pardon?
All right. I'm sorry. I'm good. Go on.
Yeah.
I don't see anything pushing mid.
So again, the specter, right? Your
Yeah.
Jet coming in too. I
Yeah.
don't know if that smoke dissipated, but
It
he's looking for the
dissipated.
trade. But
Yeah.
very like
We need
a
to work on that. Yeah.
good team would have punished this, right? Like this is a
Mhm.
crossfire, quite literally.
By the way, they're not pushing mid. AJ's.
I don't know why KO ran away. Probably because he's bad, but
Yeah, and this is like one of the things I was talking about between the scrims and
Two here. Two here.
after
We can go back
one
to
thing
the
I
back.
want to work on, and it's
Two
gonna be
turns.
not tomorrow, is more like we need to go in together because we're still doing a lot of solo
AJ's
fights
here.
and we can't be doing that.
I don't think there's anybody. There's two archons. There's nobody here.
But I mean, we just kind of finalized, so I'm not too worried about it, you know.
Mhm.
Because I told them, look, today and like the next couple of scrims, our biggest focus should be just swinging together. I don't care if we win or lose, swinging together, like, you know, holding hands, we are family. That's all we gotta do.
Yeah.
For me, that was like step one.
100%. Just playing together is always step one.
Oh, here I kind of wanted to like split a little bit down mid, I think, and see what happens.
Bombs right now are like not happening though. You
Oh
should.
yeah.
I don't know
I
if you're
was
seeing it,
talking.
but
I'm
yeah.
talking because I think you can hear them like respond to me.
I broke the eye.
They broke the eye.
And this is me, like I'm talking about what I'm gonna do. Like you can kind of hear them respond because like I'm talking, I'm yapping the entire time, which is why I'm so upset it didn't record it.
KOR's here. He's here too. One B lane. Good. Watching him.
I'm so you till something.
Watching him.
He left.
Could commit towards it if we want.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
put
flash
the
it.
pressure blazer.
Yeah, flash.
So you seem very.
I'm thinking. This is me thinking.
You are, but you're thinking with every single piece of your util that you have available.
Okay, so how
So
do
right
I?
here.
Mm-hmm.
So this eye, right? I don't know what that's supposed to scan, but I'm assuming it's gonna scan all of mid behind mid door.
Right, I was trying
Oh.
to kind of hit it with the like hit it kind of like on the statue over there to kind of get that lane.
Yeah.
It kind of missed, and I know here initially it was more kind of like I don't know if I was expecting the KO knife, but it was, I guess, more like the util for util,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Wait, Arta, there's KORs here.
But yeah, here I know I'm just util dumping while I'm thinking and talking.
Like right here.
It's not needed because I'm
Well,
already
technically,
shooting.
it depends on what you're trying to do. Like, if you're saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna dog, can you swing off the dog?" Then you're using your util to get a kill. If you're using this piece of util to get info, that works too, assuming that the eye was bad. But technically, if the eye was good, you
The
don't
eye
have to
was
use this dog,
bad.
right? So that's a compensation of the miss
Right.
util, right?
Right. And I know
So
that
now
he's
you know
here.
one's there.
Yeah, and I'm shooting it just to kind of like make noise. I know that while I'm buying time, while I'm
There's
telling them
KORs
to like
here.
check out art and to try and push this. And I think they said like one is there, so I said keep pushing him and try to kill him, get KO. Here I know I'm trying to say get KO, and I'm still trying to like make noise over here. But I don't think I
See, but
needed
you
to
don't have
dump the
to.
util.
Definitely not.
I think I could have
Like
just
your
kept
pressure is enough.
firing. Yeah, so here I could have just kept pressuring with the gunshots. I didn't really need to dump the util.
You don't even have the pressure of the gunshot, right? You already
Okay.
established mid presence. Like you have to
Uh,
think about it from like their
okay.
perspective, right?
Okay.
Like we eyed here, we fade dogged here, right? Someone got killed, like one of their teammates got killed right here. Or I believe it was their teammate.
Mhm.
Yeah, someone died. Someone got traded out.
Mhm.
They understand now that hey, the enemy team, they have mid. That's pressure already, right?
Oh,
That's
okay.
already pressure.
So I guess my question is, cause I guess like I'm overcompensating here. So like, how do I? If I've established presence, does that mean if I already have presence, I don't need to do anything else? Like I can just leave and they already think like I have it and that's it? Like
Yeah,
until
100%.
they re-clear it, like I'm done?
Yeah, so if you think
Oh,
about it from their perspective, like this is you,
okay.
right? Let's say you're Cypher,
Okay.
right? You got eyed, you got fade dogged, right? So after the
Mhm.
fade dog, you're either running back here or here, right? Unless you're crazy and you
Oh,
decide to stay here. Like if
okay.
you're crazy, let's say you break the dog and you decide to stay, right?
Okay. I'm either gonna
Um,
move or re-clear it. But
yeah,
if
and
I
then your
don't
teammate
re-clear it, I'm
dies.
assuming they're there.
Yeah, and then one of your teammates just died over at A link. So
Yeah.
now in your mind, you have two options. I'm gonna rotate over here to support,
Or re-clear it.
right? Or I'm gonna try to go up mid. But I have to use some sort of form of util, right? Like I'm not gonna dry swing out mid considering like 2 seconds ago they're all mid, right?
Right.
And that's just like just look at the time frame of when you did all of this, right?
Right. Okay.
So like the dog at 120, right? Nothing happening, just some gunshots. Someone
Mhm.
just died there. They saw like maybe two, and then they
Mhm.
counted you, Fade, three.
Wait, Arta, there's
Right, we're still
KORs
shooting
here.
mid. There's still presence here.
B lane.
There's still presence here.
Good. Watching him.
Right here, right? Like at 107, like they're not gonna assume mid is clear yet, right? They're not
Okay.
gonna use that timing to walk out. Like they know people are in mid. Like it's very unlikely that after a
Okay.
couple of seconds they ran away, right?
Okay, so I'm over. Okay, I'm overkilling it. My bad.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
See, that dog could have been used for this.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, flash.
That eye was. Guess you're scared of
Pointless.
flying.
Fair enough.
Yeah, flash.
I'm thinking. This is where I'm kind of like deciding. Like, okay, we're all in mid, and we have this. Like, we need to decide where to go now, guys. We're
You
still
have
thinking
this.
about it. We're taking a little bit too long. We
You
can
have
go
this.
either
You
or.
have this.
Like,
You
the
don't
whole
have
map
this.
is we can kind of do whatever.
Yeah.
But
You just don't have B,
right, it's like
right?
we can kind of do whatever, but we have to do it like now. So it's like
Well, you
okay,
don't have
let's.
to do it now. You have A and you have so you basically have you have
Choices.
info on whether they're pushing out A or not.
Mhm.
And because this turret hasn't proc yet, you're only scared of people hiding in A main still, right?
Right.
B, you have nothing here, so you should be scared of the walkout, right?
Mhm.
Considering push pull, like you're pushing towards mid, right? You're going into market, you have mid control, you're scaling up mid. No one's A main. They haven't pushed out A, and if they're not pushing out A, the likelihood of them pushing out B is greater, right?
Right.
So your I, you could have used it here, or you just use it with your team, or use it towards A main to clear out this last angle, right? Because right now you're kind of boxed in, essentially. You're limited to just this,
Got it.
right?
No, I don't. No, I don't. You want to come back and reclear this?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, swing.
Taking that back.
No, it's down now. It's down now.
This is where I asked him about his turret. I asked him
What
like
about
his
your
distance from his
safety?
I agree
turret
with the sewer.
30
Let's
seconds left.
because
go
like
B or do you
I
wanna go
noticed
A?
like of how far he was getting
Middle,
from
try
it.
and
So I was
go
like, is
behind
it still within
Tokyo.
your reach?
Mm-hmm.
Letting me, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna go.
This fight,
I agree
So-
towards B.
I agree with the sewer.
your team is on one page and you're on a different page right now.
I'm gonna
We
try
should
and
go
go behind Kill KO.
Do you wanna go B or do you wanna go A?
I'm gonna
We should
try and
go
go behind Kill KO.
I should have waited here because she said she wanted to kill KO.
Yeah, so
I should have waited.
at this point, after you're flashed, after you're behind cover, like
I should have waited.
relax, right? And then when you swing, you're swinging out diagonal
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Not too wide, but you're swinging out diagonal, right? So like from this guy's perspective,
I'm
you're slow as fuck because you're coming out like this. So from his perspective, it looks like you're coming like straight up,
I'm a turtle.
right? You're like going very slow versus if you swing out
Right.
perpendicular to
Because
the
I
angle,
wasn't.
right?
I wasn't squaring up.
Yeah. And you also have to consider like because you're so close, because you guys are in like such a close range fight, the fact that you're using a diagonal swing isn't ideal because it makes you look slower when realistically the closer you are to the enemy, which let's say it's like here and here,
Mm-hmm.
you'll look even faster if you just swing out sideways, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you guys are literally point blank with each other.
Letting
Nice.
me,
Yeah.
man.
I thought he was gonna. Yeah.
Reloading.
I was just looking at this. I was just kind of going through it. I was
Keep
like,
browsing. Okay, I do have to go soon, so let's do some defense rounds.
okay.
So main thing on attack is
Mm-hmm.
understand that if you're not gonna take mid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both A and B side are like just single chokes, right? Like you're
Right.
coming into one choke and they don't have to worry about anything else, right? Especially if they have utility set up to hold like
Mm-hmm.
basically mid.
Right.
Also understand if you're pushing towards mid, right? There's a high likelihood that they're gonna push somewhere else, right? If you have a KJ turret holding that push, then you can rule out the push from one area, but not both, right?
Yeah.
Also, like in terms of the team in general, like
Mm-hmm.
you guys need to start understanding like you can't all just 5-man right here for no reason.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We were just I wanted to see like how it felt with the comp and felt with everybody because this is pretty much like well, our first time on pro all together and our first time like finally all together. Um it's taken a while to get everybody together on the same page. Like you have no idea. It's taken so long. I'm about to like go bald.
Yeah.
But it's taken so long to like find everybody, talk to everybody, get everybody on like the agents that they feel comfortable with. This comp was basically I like Fade. I'm on Fade because I like my comfort agent pick is actually KJ. She's my
Uh-huh.
comfort agent, but I also love Fade. And my players players like White Sinatra here was dying to play Gecko, and my main duelist was dying to play KJ. So I let them pick the agents they were dying to play. For one map, I thought it'd be nice, because they'll play better if they like their favorite agents. And it'd be fun. It'd be more fun for them and make better like chemistry, at least for one map. And it was
That
a
makes
lot,
sense.
and it was a lot more fun. And I think, at least in my opinion, it would make will be more challenging on my end a little bit. But I mean, it's something I can work with, and I like being challenged because it'll make other stuff easier in the long run. But it's a long way to go.
For sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, back up to that last round.
way.
Look at why they said ew. I is so upset. This man is a fucking criminal. So stupid. One day. So stupid. Son of a bitch.
See
I'm
that?
watching a
This is
crime.
just this is a horrible team. Like
Yeah, I know they're bad. but
watching this,
is
it's
a
just
crime.
watching ranked, right? This is me
Yeah.
VODing ranked games. Like this
Yeah.
is
It's a crime.
what I do when I do like one-on-ones and I'm VOD ranked games.
Yeah.
Like I don't even feel like this is a scrim.
No, I
'Cause,
know.
like-
I'm like watching a crime. I was like, this man is okay. Look, he's a Radiant player. Like, he dunks on a lot of these players. It's just I watch a crime every day. But I mean, I can't really do anything right now about it. But now that like everyone's together, now I can. But like I watch this and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. But he's great. I love his attitude. I love his attitude and his drive to get better. And all the work that he puts in between.
Yep.
So I have a question here.
Yep.
Because I was looking at before when you had the setup and you had more like Gecko and Fade on B as like a default defense.
Default
it-
if you have mid control, right?
Oh, okay. So that's prefaced on.
So-
Okay.
It's if you have control of this.
Okay.
So if you have your turrets and your mollies or your alarm bot spread out like this and you hear nothing mid, like you could start Gecko here for info,
Mhm.
but if he hears people here, then you don't just leave it right away, right? Like play
Mhm.
contact off of one of these two pieces of util,
Mhm.
right? Like you can swing out from here, you can swing out from here. Technically can play over here too, but this is a more passive angle that's gonna get
Mhm.
cleared. So either or, and you swing off util, or like if you hear nothing mid and it's really quiet, then your Gecko should be proactively rotating to A, right? Especially if he's here, he rotates to A and he gets info by flashing your jet out or whatnot. If he's towards, I guess, behind the door mid, then what you do is you flash for info at B long, or you start jiggling this long line, right?
Mhm.
Especially if they have like an Astra on their team and their default smoking list, then you don't know if they crossed or not, and this side becomes like a question mark that you have to clear.
Okay, because I was always under the impression that you want initiators separated for info across the map.
You do, but it's not always necessarily the case, right? Like
Okay.
not every single time you want your Fade and your Gecko to be separated. Like only in most instances you do, because you do want info across the map,
Okay.
but in some instances you could pair them together. So let's say like an aggressive play, right? Like you're not gonna separate them.
Well, yeah, mobile unit with jet. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, let's say you're setting up for a fast retake, right? You'll probably keep them on the same side. You'll probably put your KJ over towards A. You might start off as a stack A. You might put KJ like mid. You might put your Astra like, I don't know, here. You might do something like this,
Okay.
right? And then you give up A, you retake. Like, I don't know. You give up A, you fight for B, and or you fight for mid, and or you hold A with your KJ, and then you retake B, right? Like, it's
Okay.
dependent.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just wondering.
A main one.
A main 1, Fade I long.
We need to work on these a lot.
So
My dizzy's broke.
this is unneeded because your Jet is jump spotting it already, right?
Okay.
He knows there's no one there, so if you fade eye here, like you're not getting anything new from it.
Okay.
Cool lineup though.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
KJR.
KGR.
they're smoking A here. Or not smoking, but they put a star. At least 2 aiming.
Video is mid, by the way. Is he?
Looks like they left.
They can walk out B. Yeah.
This is where you need to ask Gecko for a piece of util A main.
One up double door.
This is where
Or your
I know
KJ.
here
This
is
guy's
where I
right.
told people to like slow down, right? And
Yeah.
like since we're like here,
One up double
this is
This
where I
is like
noticed
this
something.
guy.
I was like,
That guy
here
just
we're
took
kind of like on the left side of the map, and our B is
Are they
open.
planning?
And I said
Pushing
I
B,
wanted to
pushing B.
like slow down and like we can retake B from like the left side of the map. Just kind of like based on where we were. But I
So
think
right
like
here,
we got too happy moving over.
yes. You guys all shifted over like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, just send your KJ, right? Your Gecko can keep holding mid. You have your turret watching this. You can keep Jet on the deep line if you want. You can move over, and then that way you'll still have like map control, but you're ready for the hit, right? Let's say it's like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rotations look like this. Now you have, hey, we have info if they're running down B. We have the turret to spot out if they're pushing through door.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 people doubled up holding the link. And we have an alarm button in case they do start pushing in and we have to back off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have 2 people almost on site ready to fight for A, right? And that
Right.
way it's just a flat out like this.
Yeah, and
Right.
and like in my mind when I saw like the situation, I was like we could retake B, but we would have to like kind of like adjust where we were, but I think overall we just kind of got like too happy and we like fell down.
Yeah.
The way is he?
They
And
left.
I don't think the words came out of my mouth fast enough
Not with-
either.
Planted.
Oh.
Mark 2.
Yeah, this one.
Back off.
So you need to wait a little bit for this eye.
Yeah.
Because your team isn't going to capitalize on it yet, right? Pair it with a Gecko flash or something when you come out.
Yeah. So it's a lot of more like I think just like slowing down here because
Back off, yeah.
Last one.
I mean,
Mid.
this team is just bad, but like
Nice.
we could have just slowed down here. Like a better team would have
100%.
fucked us on that.
100%. That eye would have been broken. They would have had crossfires everywhere. They would have out aimed you.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you can't hear my voice, but I mean, I know my voice wasn't tilted, but I can even tell from like the way I'm moving and stuff. Like I was getting a little
Didn't see
like
anything mid of
not
my flag.
agitated, but it's like I already know
Sounds like B long headed.
Okay, the alarm but's
like
gonna
we would have been fucked.
help towards more B.
I'm gonna go for
That's
B.
a bad smoke. My fault.
Pushing mid third.
Just gotta show your fucking way.
That's out already.
Where are they planning?
Default.
Default.
Pulling?
Back call. One more back call.
No molly back hall.
Long one back call.
These dogs,
Is this not your buy round?
It's out.
You won the last round.
I'm about to go down.
I don't think we
No.
could.
Oh my god. I thought it was this one.
Sounds like B long.
Not really.
This
Unless
is
I was,
definitely a buy round.
I might have not, something might have happened. Oh, something might have happened on my end.
This is definitely a buy round.
Yeah.
Pushing mid third.
Towards more B.
I'm gonna go for
That's a
B.
bad smoke. My fault.
Pushing mid third.
Jet is playing solo here.
Flash mid.
You need to be up with him because you're not watching anything right now, right?
Okay.
Batting work.
because Jet has this initial angle, so you should be playing off of his contact, or you should be jiggling for him or baiting for him or whatever, right?
Okay, so then okay, so I should be further up. Okay.
Yeah, because right now, like, Jet basically has all of this space, right?
Okay. Hmm.
So you from heaven staring down towards here,
I do nothing.
not you're just looking at Jet.
Where's my
Look
bag?
at all the
Oh
pretty
my god,
pictures.
I thought it was this
Sounds
one.
like below. Maybe.
Okay, the armbot's gonna go down. It's gonna help towards more B.
I'm gonna go first.
That's a
please.
vast
No
And
problem.
here I said like I'm waiting for y'all to
There's
come.
something right there.
Just gonna sheriff off my right.
That's out already.
Where are they planning?
Default.
Default.
Pulling?
Back call. One more back call.
Another molly back hall.
That eye needs a bit of
Yeah,
work.
so much work. We're gonna work on it.
Sucks.
I tethered someone
I got
though.
this.
The bind, like on bind specifically.
Back on, back on.
Oh, it was their tether.
That was-
Yeah, they're just bad team. But it's
A
okay.
pullback star here for me. And get
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and flank up then. I'll guys do that.
So here we tried something different, and I said like I wanted them to push up. Like let's try pushing up somewhere. And I should not have repeaked that.
I'll
That was
rotate
a
to fill
mistake.
this.
Like I
Two
knew.
mid, two mid.
I knew.
I'm gonna rotate to fill this.
So your KJ dying loses you a
Bad
lot of
juju.
mid hold.
Yeah.
There's
Eco round, you guys pushed up A,
I'm
so
gonna rotate to fill this.
should have been an assumption of mid and B.
Okay.
Like off of like the team as a whole, right? It's not saying it's your mistake.
Mhm.
It's more of a team thing. Like if you have all of this,
Mhm.
the likelihood of you finding them here or here becomes 50-50, right?
Okay.
This is literally 50-50, the chances of you seeing them.
Yeah,
So- Mhm.
my biggest takeaway, like just overall with the comp, I feel like the two agents that we really can't afford to lose overall in the game are like Astra and KJ. Like those should be the people we lose like last every time.
Yeah, like you technically KJ, you can switch off the cipher if you want to.
Right. But
Not saying like anything would change, but
those are
um,
the agents I can't afford to lose until like the end. I don't want to lose them first.
well, definitely, yeah. You need to keep your smoker there. Like you can switch out your smoker, but you need a smoker and a sentinel on this map specifically.
Yeah.
Almost on every map, you need a senti. Let me rephrase that. Depending on how you play,
Yeah.
you need a senti.
Mhm.
But you know, like if you don't, so the theory is if you don't have here, here, and here,
Mhm.
right? The chances of you running into them is like 33% on each, right?
Right.
So you're starved on info here. So like every engagement you take is gonna get you info, but you have a 33% of getting shot at by the enemy. And then if you have mid control and here, right? Then you know if you do the math correctly, there's like 100% chance that you're gonna get shot at if you peek B long, right?
So you know where not to be or where to expect to get shot at versus
Exactly. So like look at the scenario, right?
Again.
All of A, so 50-50 chance of getting shot at, right?
There's two mid,
Yeah.
two mid.
So she took the 50. Jet peeked B long, saw no one, so his 50 was safe, right? So again,
Right.
50-50. One area got shot at, the other area could have been shot at too,
I'm gonna
quite
Okay.
literally.
rotate
And you knowing that they're mid,
we just
right?
took it
Decide to
again.
swing no util
I'm gonna
Yeah.
when you had like
rotate
a full deck of cards to play with, right?
to
Yeah.
fill this.
We dum dum.
I'm gonna
100%.
blind. Up.
That's
Apart.
three.
I'm gonna blind.
And then look at
Not
the
one
eye from
person,
Fade.
but two person.
Look at the eye from Fade, right? She re-cleared A main.
Mhm.
Now we're back to if we peek B long, 33% of getting shot. If we peek mid, 33% of getting shot. If we peek A main, 33% of shots. And look at that. We don't know anything now, right? We just have to sit on site and pray. Go through one more map or one more round here before I dip.
Yeah. So So do you just do like a lot of one-on-one coaching, or what's up with that?
I usually do team coaching. One-on-one sometimes, depending on like who's asking. Um,
How many teams are you coaching right now?
Currently three. Um, Coaching three teams. One is a high tier two, tier one team. The other one is Collegiate, and the other one is a GC team.
Were you like looking for a fourth or not really?
Not really. It really depends on like, cause like looking at this, you guys aren't gonna benefit from a coach yet, just because you guys still need to work on like fundamentals. You guys need to work on building chemistry as a team, working on like the nitty-gritties of it. Because the teams I coach right now are the teams that are quite literally scrimming energy and like 100 thieves. Um, we have a scrim with Shopify Rebellion quite literally today in a couple of minutes. So
Oh, that'll be fun.
yeah, it's those types of
I
teams.
watched
So
one of the teams I was helping like manage for before I think they disbanded. It was last year.
Tried to
They had like some scrims against like Oxygen or whatever, and that was fun to watch. Like that scrim
Tried to
was fun to
Mm.
watch. I had so much fun.
Still waiting.
Sounds like heavy.
They're dogging up A.
I've had like a lot of like I'd say
Tried to
VOD reviews and map reviews I've like watched that made me fall in love with like Valorant for the pure joy of like falling in love with Valorant.
and then this last round we're watching, you guys have control of here, right? And you're prodding mid, but you don't have anyone holding this extreme line, the extremity here, or the extremity here. So right now, because you're peeking mid,
Sounds like heavy.
let's say that eye actually landed perfectly, right? And you cleared like
It
all
needs
of
so
mid.
much work.
And it's a 50-50 chance that if you peek one of these angles, you're gonna die.
Dogging up A. Start spray, they're ulting.
Hold.
Is there a reason you're still like walking here? Are you like
I'm talking.
okay?
This
You need
is
to
the
build
this
the
is the
habit of talking and
walking
moving at the same time.
yeah.
Like
This is like my thinking and talking and thinking and talking, and I need to really work on it actually.
Pushing spawn, I think. Secret.
Because you can hear them, like they're responding to me, like when I'm talking about shit, like and then like I stop because I see people, and then I just try to start off
these
again.
dog. Oh god.
One backside.
Oh, we go for this.
2 dogs.
Main.
Goodbye.
Flowers.
Flower one, flower.
Oh god
I'll find you. Bring them down.
1 man.
Big flower.
So this is just two separate fights going on, right? Like
Yeah.
this. It's quite literally fundamentals. Like
No, yeah, no, my fundamentals are trash. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I have a lot to work on. Like, I need my brain is way ahead of my fundamentals, and it's very upsetting. And I'm working on them every day, and they're improving slowly.
that's
Which is
good.
fine.
But just understand, like, if you're ever in a 2v3 scenario, it's best to just buddy up, right? So instead of fighting backside by yourself where you can get shot at from like flowers or hell, like you can fight with the KJ and fight topside, or vice versa, KJ can help you fight backside first, right?
Right.
And if you have dogs, treat it as like a separate player and start baiting the dog, right? Like you
Right.
don't have to always dog for info, you dog to kill.
Yeah.
You dog this Astra, you swing her, you dog main, smoke out main.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm trying to get a little bit more used to on Fade. I'm not gonna lie. I like and this is what I've noticed, and I'm trying to kind of draw back from it, is like I like getting info